Hello. Today I'm going to share a Reddit story that will make you think about trust, family ties, and unexpected betrayals. What do you do when people you thought were family put their own interests above all else? Stay tuned to find out how this situation unfolded and how it ended. Your comments and subscription are always welcome. Mary Smith was sitting on her front porch when her neighbor, Susie, approached with a look that promised news. "Did you hear? Your dad and Elaine are off on a trip. A real honeymoon!" Mary froze. "What? I don't know anything about that," she replied, trying to hide her shock. Susie looked surprised. "Oh, I thought you knew. They said they were taking Elaine's kids with them." "What a nice family trip!" Mary felt her heart clench. "They're taking Elaine's kids. What about me?" Susie was embarrassed. "I guess that's just their choice, Mary. But it's strange they didn't tell you." When the neighbor left, Mary was left alone with her thoughts. Her father, with whom she had been close all her life, had not even bothered to tell her about such an important event. Why am I not part of this family? Is it because of Elaine? She thought. She dialed her father's number, but he did not answer. Mary felt her resentment grow. Maybe this is some kind of mistake. I have to find out the truth, she decided. The next episode will show how Mary remembers the past and analyzes how Elaine affected her relationship with her father. In a episode 2 background, extended version, 1,500 words, Mary sat in the kitchen with a cup of tea, trying to calm her thoughts. She remembered how Elaine came into their lives. Her father, Tom, had met Elaine 3 years after Mary's mother died. At first, Mary was happy to see her father smiling again. Elaine seemed friendly, and her children, Timmy and Laura, seemed well-mannered. Mary, this could be a new beginning for all of us," Tom said as he introduced Elaine at a family dinner. But over time, Mary began to notice that her relationship with her father was changing. They used to go fishing every weekend, discussing everything from work to her childhood memories. But after Elaine came along, their moments together became rare. "Elaine wants us to spend the weekend with her kids. When maybe next time, Mary," Tom would say when Mary would suggest her plans. One Christmas, when everyone was gathered around the table, Mary noticed that her gifts were much different from those for Timmy and Lauren. "Oh, Dad, is it just a certificate?" she joked, trying to hide her hurt. Elaine immediately intervened. "Mary, you're an adult, and the kids are still young. They need more attention." This moment was the first signal to Mary that her role in the family was changing. Every year, Elaine became more and more influential in Tom's decisions. She insisted on rewriting the will, arguing that the interests of her children needed to be taken into account. "Mary, you're still independent, and Lauren and Timmy still need support," Tom said. Mary remained silent, but a crack appeared in her heart. "Maybe I'm just exaggerating," she thought. But now, after the news of the honeymoon, all of these moments came to the surface. She recalled another time when Elaine asked Tom to sell their family cottage, where Mary had spent her childhood. "It's just a house, Mary. We can't keep it forever," Tom had said at the time, even though Mary knew it was Elaine's idea. Now that Elaine had taken her children on a honeymoon trip without even telling her, Mary realized she was being pushed away from her family. She picked up the phone and tried to call her father again, but his phone was off. "I need to talk to him. I have to find out what's going on," she decided. A few days later, Mary finally managed to get in touch with her father. Tom answered the phone briefly, but his voice sounded nervous. "Mary, why are you calling? Has something happened?" he asked, trying to sound casual. Mary felt anger boiling up inside her. "Dad, what's wrong is that I found out about your honeymoon from Susie, not you. You didn't even tell me you were planning it." Tom fell silent. "Mary, it was a sudden decision. We decided to do it just for Elaine's children, so they would feel like part of the family." Mary could not believe her ears. "What a part of the family? What am I, Dad? What makes you think I don't deserve to be a part of this?" Tom sighed. "Mary, you're an adult. You have your own life. I thought you would understand." These words were the last straw. Understand. "Dad, you're pushing me away. I don't feel like I belong in this family since Elaine came into our lives," she said, trying to hold back her tears. Tom started to say something, but Mary interrupted him. I need to talk to you and Elaine in person. We need to figure this out. They agreed to meet at home in 2 days. Mary came to the meeting with a heavy heart. Elaine met her at the door with a friendly but strained smile. Mary, I'm glad you came. We wanted to talk to you, she said, inviting her into the living room. Tom was sitting on the couch, looking nervous. Mary didn't wait for either of them to start talking. Why am I the last to know about your decisions? Why do I feel like I don't exist for you anymore? Elaine immediately intervened. Mary, you have it all wrong. We just wanted this trip to be special for the kids. You're an adult now, and we thought you wouldn't mind. Mary looked at her, unable to hide her indignation. Wouldn't mind? You didn't even think to ask me. This isn't just about the trip. This is about being pushed away from my family. Tom tried to calm the situation. Mary, we didn't mean to offend you, but you have to understand that I have a new family now. I have to take care of everyone. These words shattered Mary. A new family? You mean I'm not your family anymore, Dad? Elaine tried to take the lead. Mary, that's not true. But you have to realize that your life is already settled, and Timmy and Lauren need more attention. Mary could not stand it. Attention. You took my inheritance, sold the dacha, and now you're going on a trip without me. What more do you want? Elaine suddenly turned pale, and Tom looked confused. Mary, we didn't take your inheritance. Everything we're doing is for the good of the family, he began, but Mary could no longer listen. Family? I don't see any family here, Dad. I only see you alienating me, she said, standing up. Before she left, Mary added, if you really want me to be a part of your life, start acting like it. And if you don't, then say so directly. Mary returned home, but the feeling of anger and resentment never left her. Something in Elaine's behavior seemed unnatural to her, and her father's words only reinforced her suspicions. I have to find out the truth, she decided. Opening her laptop, Mary began to look through old emails, documents, and even her old notes related to her parents' affairs. She remembered that after Elaine's arrival, her father had changed financial documents, including his will, several times. In the folder with the financial statements, she found a letter from a lawyer stating that Tom's inheritance was now divided among all of his children, both natural and adopted. That explains why she was so active in trying to bring her son and daughter closer to their father, Mary thought. But that was only the beginning. While looking through the archives, Mary came across a document that showed the sale of their family dacha. What she found was astonishing. The money from the sale had been transferred to an account managed by Elaine. Well, Dad said it was for all of us, but it looks like Elaine had other plans, she thought, feeling her anger grow. Mary decided to contact the lawyer her father had hired to handle his affairs. She managed to arrange an appointment for the next day. The lawyer, Mr. Grayson, was friendly but cautious. Mary, I can't disclose all the information without your father's permission. But I can tell you one thing, your stepmother had a lot of influence on the recent changes in the documents, he said. These words confirmed Mary's worst suspicions. You mean she actually controls everything? She asked. Mr. Elena Grayson sighed. Technically, no. But in practice, she has considerable influence over your father. Mary realized she had to act. She went home and began to make a list of questions to ask her father. In the meantime, she decided to talk to a few relatives to see if they had noticed anything strange. Her Aunt Linda, who had always had a sharp tongue, was blunting. Mary, I've long suspected that Elaine was up to something. She's always too nice when it was advantageous. Your father trusts her blindly, and that's his biggest mistake. These words only spurred Mary to action. She decided to organize a family dinner to set Elaine straight. She knew it was risky, but she couldn't stay silent any longer. The dinner Mary organized was to be the decisive moment. She invited her father, Elaine, Timmy, Lauren, and several relatives, including her Aunt Linda. The atmosphere was tense even before everyone sat down. Mary began calmly. Thank you for coming. I wanted to bring us all together to talk about what is bothering me. Lately, I feel like I've been drifting away from you, and I'd like to understand why. Elaine was the first to respond with a friendly but tense smile. Mary, you have always been part of our family. Maybe you just don't see things the right way. Mary nodded. Maybe, but some things are hard to misinterpret. For example, the fact that the money from the sale of our family cottage went into your personal account, Elaine. These words shocked everyone present. Tom looked at Elaine in confusion. What does she mean? He asked. Elaine remained calm. Mary, that's not true. All the money was used for the family. Mary pulled out a copy of the document that confirmed her words and put it on the table. Then why did it end up in your account? It looks like something more than just taking care of your family. Tom took the document and began to read. His face turned white. Elaine, is this true? Elaine tried to defend herself. Tom, I did it for the children, and they need stability, and Mary is an adult and independent. This was the last straw for Mary. Independent, so that justifies you pushing me away, that you hide important decisions from me. The relatives began whispering, and Aunt Linda couldn't help herself. Elaine, I always knew you were a manipulator. But this is too much. Tom looked confused and stunned. Elaine, I trusted you. How could you do this? Elaine realized she could no longer hide the truth. Yes, I did it, but only because you always put Mary first. I had to fight for my children to get something. These words shocked everyone. Tom stood up, his voice trembling. Elaine, that's not fighting. This is a betrayal, and I can't forgive that. Mary felt anger and relief mix in her heart. Finally, the truth had come out. After the truth was revealed, the atmosphere at the dinner became unbearable. Elaine remained silent, avoiding eye contact, and Tom sat with a grim expression as if he realized the magnitude of the events. Mary decided to break the silencing. Dad, I want you to understand that I didn't do this to separate us. I just couldn't keep quiet any longer. You have a right to know what's going on in your life. Mama. Tom looked at his daughter, his eyes filled with tears. Mary, I owe you a lot. Let Elaine have too much influence over me, but I never meant for you to feel alienated. Elaine finally spoke, her voice sharp. I did my best to raise a family, but you, Mary, have always treated me like a stranger. Maybe I was wrong, but you never tried to understand me either. Mary felt her anger begin to subside, giving way to exhaustion. Elaine, I tried, but every time I took a step toward you, you found a way to push me away. It's not all my fault. The relatives listened in silence, but Aunt Linda couldn't help herself. Family is not just about money, Elaine. You know that. Tom stood up. Elaine, I need to think about this. I need to figure out how we can fix this. But for now, I need you to leave Mary and me alone. Elaine silently left the room and Tom sat down next to Mary. My daughter, I have made many mistakes, but I don't want to lose you. Tell me, what can I do to fix this? Mary thought about it. She felt that this moment was her chance to rebuild her relationship with her father, but at the same time, she wasn't sure if she could forgive him. Dad, it's not just about what happened. It's about trust. I want you to start listening to me like you used to, she said. Tom nodded. I promise, Mary. I'm not going to let those barriers come between us anymore. Mary spent the next few days thinking about the future. She realized that she wanted to move on, but she also wanted to give her father a chance to make things right. Mary goes for a walk holding a photo of her, Tom and her late mother smiling. She looks at it and says, I don't know if things will ever be the same, but I'm willing to try. This story reminds us how important it is to tell the truth and defend our rights, even if it is difficult. If you like this story, please subscribe to our channel. Your comments are always welcome.